Well, hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Backroads with you. We're back in the Ozarks today. We've made it back from our trip out to Death Valley, California. We're back in the Ozarks. Today I'm out in the government woods and I'm on the Ibex, our CFMOTO Ibex 800 back here. And I've got some exciting news about the CFMOTO Ibex. If you own one or you're thinking about buying one, stick around, I got some information for you. So today we're taking the Ibex through a nice section of the Mark Twain National Forest. It's a scenic byway that goes through a big section of government woods. It's called the Glade Top Trail here in central Douglas County, Missouri. We're just south of Ava, Missouri a little bit. We're gonna take a ride through that on the big Ibex back here. And I'm en route to my favorite seafood restaurant there in Branson, Missouri. But we're taking the scenic route today. So we'll take a ride through this big section of government woods. We'll talk about this Ibex. Stick around. So we're on our Ibex today. It's looking pretty good. I got it all loaded up with my normal things there, my survival gear and a little bit of camera gear and whatnot. Got a brand new set of Metis E07 Plus tires on this bike. My favorite adventure bike tire, 50/50 tire. I really like those tires. I get a lot of comments, people saying that I don't have my front tire mounted in the right direction. It's on backwards. Well, that's not the case. The arrow on the side of the sidewall there on the tire says that that's the way to mount that tire. And there's a reason why the front tire mounts in the opposite direction, the chevron pattern, the opposite direction of the rear tire. The rear tire drives the bike forward. So it's spinning in this direction. And when it gets in loose gravel or sand and it spins, the tread forces the gravel, the sand from the center of the tire outward. So when the tire spins, the material is removed from the center of the tire, pushed out to the outside. That allows the tire to dig down in the loose material to get to the harder ground underneath and get traction. So it removes material from under the tire. Well, the front tire, it doesn't drive forward, it doesn't pull the bike. Its job is to stop the bike. So essentially, it's turning the other way. When you apply the brakes, the tire is going to be sliding on the ground in a forward direction. The chevron pattern on the front tire has the same job when it's braking as the rear tire has when it's applying forward thrust. Its job is to remove the material out from under the tire, allow the tire to get onto a firmer surface underneath if there's loose material on top, to dig down to get traction to stop the bike. So that's why the chevron pattern is reversed on the front, the opposite direction. The two tires have totally opposite jobs to do, and the tread pattern reflects the function of the tire. So this tire stops the bike, the forward motion. The rear tire creates the forward motion, drives the bike forward. When you see a chevron style tread, the front tire, the chevron pattern will be opposite of the direction that the chevrons point on the rear tire. They have two different functions. Whew, and what a beautiful day it is. We've had so much rain in the Ozarks. Precipitation here in the Ozarks in April this year was a record amount. It was an inch more than the last record, which was in 1945. So we've had a lot of rain, but we've had a couple of days of break here. It's been several years since I've been through this trail through this section of government woods. I kind of forgot about it. So we had a beautiful, a really nice time there in Death Valley National Park. Spent a week out there riding around the desert. Climbed a mountain, some beautiful views out there as well. Some nice desert riding, some higher desert riding that's not quite so hot. So I do have some exciting news about the Ibex here that we're riding today. If you've watched my channel on any of the videos I've done with the Ibex over the last couple of years, the fuel mapping on this bike from the factory is just abysmal. I don't like it, I didn't like it. I always complain about it. It's real surgy and jerky, and it runs really lean. The motor runs too hot because the fuel mapping's so lean. Well, I finally fixed it. I sent my ECU, pulled the ECU out of this bike, mailed it off to a place there in Tishomingo, Mississippi. There's a dealer down there that does a lot of work on CFMOTO tuning. It's a big CFMOTO dealer, and they do ECU mapping, tuning, fuel mapping and tuning. And they had a map for this bike that they'd been working on. I tell you what, it's a game changer on this bike. The bike does not surge, it doesn't hunt. On cruise, it's just smooth. It's just like what you would expect it to be. Any modern motorcycle, what you would expect. And I'm not feeling any hunting or surging going slow on these dirt roads. I'm really impressed at what a difference getting a tune makes. So if you own one of these bikes or you're thinking about getting one, that's an option that'll fix the fueling. And it's really the only major complaint that I had about this motorcycle. I haven't been recommending people buy this. I get a lot of people commenting, asking me, you know, would you recommend that bike? Is it a good bike? And it is a good bike, but the fueling was just horrible. And I know people are not going to enjoy the experience with the way the factory fueling is. So now there's an option, and I can recommend that, yeah, if you're willing to have the ECU remapped, it's a very good bike, and I'm just tickled to death with it. Wow, check out this view. That is beautiful. What a view. Awesome. I can't believe how nice and smooth this fueling is. It's just, I'm just not used to it yet. I expect it to lurch and jerk, and when I'm doing this slow, easy stuff is when it was the worst. Those days apparently are over with. This is really a beautiful ride. It's been several years since I've been in here. I kind of forgot about the place, actually. Yeah, if you've got one of these bikes, don't hesitate. Go ahead and get the fuel mapping fixed. Get the ECU remapped. Man, it's unbelievable. It's a totally different motorcycle. You will be impressed. I'm just about positive. Especially if you've had to deal with this for a while, you're really going to appreciate the new mapping. The lean fueling that comes from the factory is not good for the motor. It runs too hot, and it's gonna shorten the lifespan of the engine. I would go ahead as soon as I could and get the fuel remapped. It's gonna benefit you in a lot of ways, but you're really gonna enjoy riding the bike a lot more. That's gonna be the main thing. That is pretty cool right there. Kind of like a bowl, a big deep bowl down in there. If I was in the bottom of that, it'd be quite a climb to get back out. I'd be huffing and puffing without a doubt. Oh yeah. She'll talk to you. This bike tracks really well through this loose stuff. This is pretty deep, loose gravel right here in places. And this thing just straight through it. It doesn't do any funny business. Look at this view. You can see plumb to last week across there. I don't even know how far one could see right here. They got bathrooms and some picnic tables in there. I believe this is the amphitheater. They've got a little small amphitheater. And I don't know what they do with it. I know they have weddings and things here at this little amphitheater. It's just a little stage with some seating down on the side of this hill. So this is nice. You can have events here. They've got places to prepare food. They've got a really large grill right there. Picnic tables. So yeah, they got this. And you know, you can make of that what you want. You could have looks like there's a cross there. They probably, I'm going to say plays, possibly, maybe a revival. The church could get a lot of people in here and have their revival out under the stars. That's a pretty popular thing to do in this part of the country. But that's what it is right there. Man, that view, woo! That's pretty nice. Wow, that is really pretty. Nice thing about this bike, I never have to turn the traction control off when I'm out on these gravel roads and stuff, because this bike didn't come with traction control. It does have ABS, but the 23 model that I have here, which was the first year that it came, the first model year that it came to the United States, it didn't have traction control. I'll have to come back through here more often. Once every 5 years is not enough. I was thinking about taking this on another expedition this year. I took it out to New Mexico and Arizona the first year I got it. Big trip out there. With this new mapping and all, it's running so much cooler. I think it would be even more enjoyable with the new fuel mapping. I know it would be. I'll have to decide where I want to go if I can find time to get out. Where are we going here? Oh, I don't want to go on the pavement. I want to stay on the dirt. That's what we'll do. Whew, is this beautiful or what? Man. I remember one time I was in here, it's been quite a few years ago, but I got up in here where it's really thick timber like it is here. It was in the summer and a squall line came through and caught me in here. And man, the winds picked up and it went to whipping, and all these trees were whipping around. Limbs and crap was coming out of them. I thought, oh, I'm gonna die. I never really considered that as being a hazard, you know, riding in the woods, but you don't want to get caught in a squall line. I didn't get hit by any limbs, but there was nowhere I could go to get out to where I wasn't in danger of getting hit by a limb. But fortunately, those squall lines move really fast. It didn't last but about a couple of minutes maybe. And it started to settle down a little bit. But there was a lot of material coming out of these trees, hitting the ground everywhere around me. So I just stopped and sat there, you know, hoping nothing hit me. I didn't want to be moving and ride into something at speed coming down, you know, a limb coming down. So I just stopped and waited. A lot of up and down in here now, but I got perfect fueling to deal with it. No issues at all.
I cannot believe how good the fueling is on this. I'm telling you, I can't brag on them boys enough down there at Tishomingo, Mississippi. They did a good job. And I believe I paid $249 to get that remapped, and I had to pay shipping down there for my ECU. It's just a little bitty thing, it's not very big, but I went ahead and FedExed it. I didn't want it spending over a week in the US Postal Service system, so I FedExed it. It cost like $15, I think, to send that down there. Let's look at this. Yep, that's a view. That's really pretty. Got a little camp, a little fire pit right there. A couple of them. People have been, big one over there. Apparently you can camp here, which is national forest. You can usually camp. So this big heavy girl does pretty good on these dirt roads and stuff. She's a heavy girl. I think it's 509 pounds. I mean, it's no KTM Adventure 790 or 890, but it's quite a bit heavier. But it still handles well. Just have to respect it, respect its weight. It's not top heavy. It doesn't try to fall over all the time. But it's an excellent touring bike. If you want to go somewhere, you could do worse. With the new fuel mapping, it's very good, I would say. Yeah, this road hasn't had a lot of attention down through here. A lot of washed out areas in it. Rocks hanging out of it. Big ditch washed out there. I about went over that cattle guard right into that ditch. I must have taken a different route. There are several ways to cross this area. I don't remember there being any asphalt. I've taken a different way across, apparently. Well, that's an old house right there. And it looks like it's been there for a day or two. It had asphalt siding on it, like shingles. They made asphalt siding. You can see some of it still on there. That's an old one. A lot older than I am. This bike has really good wind protection for the rider. It's really nice. Of course, it's hot if you're going across Kansas and it's 110. You're going to be standing up trying to get some air on you, but most of the time it's really nice. Yeah, my temperature, I'm down to 172. Normally this thing would be running 194, 96, something like that, degrees Fahrenheit on the coolant temperature. It's down a lot to what it used to be. And that's just from having the correct fuel, air-fuel ratio, not running it so lean, running it so hot. Okay, this is a paved road. I didn't realize that. A double D highway, Dolly Parton Highway. Looks like a really good place for a deer to jump out in front of you right here to me. Right on the creek over here. We can pick it up here, move along. Put the cruise on. Got a straight piece of road. Rest my hand. Oh, Joe's Crab Shack. Here I come. Forsyth, Missouri. We're not going into town. We're going to go over the lake here on our brand new bridge. Just got put in a few years ago. Yeah, that's all city park. It's all underwater. There's That's what happens when you have record rainfall in April. Everything goes underwater. You can see the roofs. Those are the white you see are the roofs of the little building. These little buildings, you can just see the roof sticking up out of the lake there. Interesting. More of them buzzards. They're on a dead deer right there. Ugh. So this is Hollister city limits. Hollister sits on the east side of the lake down here. And then when you cross over, you're in Branson. Try to get in line without getting ran over here. Got 2 new bridges. That's the newest one there. They're ready for a big flood. You can rent you an apartment or a townhouse right here. Condominium, I don't know what you call them, but it's pretty high rent, I think. The lake's on the other side of the building there. All right, here's a parking spot just for me. Awesome.
Well, folks, I made it to my destination. I got to eat dinner there at Joe's Crab Shack. I didn't expire before I got here. It was close though, but I did make it. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, checking out some information here on the Ibex about the fueling. Hopefully somebody will get some good out of that information. I think it's an awesome fix for this machine and really makes it a very nice motorcycle. I appreciate you hanging with me. I invite you to come back and see me. We'll jump on something and go somewhere. Till I catch up with you again, you all take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time.